morning, guys. Welcome back. Beautiful day. Listening to Crow. If you know, you know. Crow is like goat German music. Dude, now I'm starting to get excited for spring because it is, and for summer because, dude, like, I didn't remember, like, it was so cold for so long now, for like 5 months straight. Now you can walk around in t-shirt. It's amazing, I love it. Yesterday's video is exporting, and should take, I don't know, a couple hours. It's already been exporting since like 9 in the morning. I had to cut out a few things from yesterday's video because I realized, you know, I was ranting about this, not ranting, but I was saying things that weren't necessary about this woman that was very disrespectful towards me. So I just cut it out. But I don't know, maybe I'll tell you the full story, but it's not really necessary. You know, it doesn't help me or her if I talk bad about her. So I just leave it. Also, I got a comment, a guy saying, or a girl, I don't know, saying that I should stop doing these videos, or that he would do it otherwise, because I think some people may have misunderstood. You know, in a couple of vlogs ago I said that I'm a guy from Switzerland, whatever, becoming a millionaire, and I think some people assumed that I already am a millionaire, or that I'm worth like 800,000. So guys, I can tell you, I'm far away from 1 million. I'm not a millionaire. I'm saying I'm becoming a millionaire, because eventually, with my habits, my work, like what I do, eventually I'll become a millionaire. You know, if everything would go wrong, probably not, but like if everything works out somewhat okay, I'm becoming a millionaire at some point. And you know, if you live in Switzerland and you're smart with your money and you have a normal salary, it's very likely that eventually you get quite wealthy. And I'm not saying this to brag. You know, dude, I'll show you my shoes when I get out the car. Like, dude, I'm not poor, okay? I'm doing good financially, but the thing is, I'm still, even if I'm doing good, you know, the shoes I'm wearing, they're like 5 years old. They're literally falling apart. And I'm refusing to buy new ones because I know, dude, I don't give about like materialistic things, you know? Yeah, you could say, dude, you talk about cars and watches all the time. Yeah, okay. But the thing is, you know, the reason why I spend all my money on cars and watches is because I am passionate about these topics. And, you know, that's something different. I don't buy, you know, like if I was buying a car only to brag, I would get some AMG. And like, not saying that AMGs are bad at all, you know, but like there's a certain stereotype associated with AMG drivers. But like, if it was purely for the brag, I would drive, you know, a much more expensive car now. But dude, I drive a Mini Cooper S. This is not a car you can brag with, you know. And I think he also like kind of criticized my character, saying that I'm not as charismatic. Dude, I'm not trying to be as charismatic as possible. I'm not putting on an internet persona here. Like, maybe a little bit, like usually I don't talk that much, but like for the video I have to talk a lot, you know. But I'm a natural introvert. I just can't be extroverted when it's about a topic that I care about, or that I'm passionate about. And I know there's people way more charismatic than me, and that's okay, you know. I'm not trying to be extra charismatic, I'm just the way I am. I'm not faking my persona here. Guys, I was on phone calls the whole afternoon. Okay, one was my mom, but I was on like 7 other phone calls. My brain's smoking, I had to get out before I head back to work again. Talking about shoes though. Do you see these? They're literally falling apart. So, you know, the people thinking that I'm like spending money like stupid, dude. I don't. You know what's funny on this? A couple of years ago, well, it was not so funny, but I bought a DJI Mavic. This drone landed on the roof of this building and I never got the drone back. It's probably still up there. This used to be Nokia, now it's Hitachi. But dude, the crazy thing is I owned like three DJI Mavics. Two of them broke. Well, one of them broke. One of them landed on the roof here. And the third one I still own. But the third one also broke because I flew it in a tree. Well, you can still use it, but it's just not in perfect condition anymore. Speaking of perfect condition, look at this Aston Martin DB12 or DB11. I think it's a DB12. Oof. I love Aston Martins, dude. Gotta get one of those one day. You know, it's a feeling right now. I'm trying to prioritize getting 10k steps in, doing work, making career, focus on family, focus on friends, focus on relationship, focus on finances. Like, dude, you can't do it all. I'm spread so thin right now. I don't even know what direction to walk in, what to focus on, because there's so many things now, also with the YouTube and reading and mental stuff and whatever. Dude, it's too much. Probably have a burnout, don't even realize it. No, I don't have a burnout, but I'm definitely on edge. Just like my shoes. I wished yesterday when I saw that lady, I wished that I filmed, that I just continued filming. I think I have to like start to, you know, when people approach me, just continue filming, because out of respect, or like I automatically do it. I just turn off the camera. But I'm realizing that's when it gets interesting, you know. That conversation with that lady would have been such a good example of like showing you how stoicism works, and it would have been like a real life example, you know. You could see me handle that situation, and that would have been interesting, I guess. But yeah, I didn't film, unfortunately. Have to get used to doing that. Yeah, video exporting as every day took forever. It's still exporting. It's now like 5 p.m. and I started it at 9 in the morning, so it's been, I don't know what, 8 hours or something. Can't do this anymore, guys. I need to make more money so I can get a new phone and new camera and all that stuff. Completely missed it, but there was another GT3 RS in yellow from Fürstentum Liechtenstein. Dude, so many GT3 RSs. I wanna let your brain and baby smile this. Video is not uploading. I don't know why it doesn't work. I think there's too many people uploading a video right now. I've realized last couple of hours, days, whatever, you know, I'm pretty happy. Baseline, I'm pretty happy and appreciate the things I have. But I've noticed whenever you start comparing yourself to somebody else, I think I talked about this in a vlog before, not sure, but whenever you start, oh, that's a nice color. Whenever you start comparing yourself, that's when you start to get unhappy. That's when you start feeling behind. Because when I look at my life, at how I feel, at my financial situation, all that, I don't feel behind. But when I look at my friend who works, I don't know, in like the finance industry and makes 250,000 a year. Okay, I don't have a friend that makes 250,000, but like I have friends in industries and they make over 100k a year, you know. And then I look at them, they're like the same age as I am, and I'm thinking, dude, why do they make more money than me? Why do they have their own apartment? Why do they have, oh, that nice BMW? You know, you start to compare and complain. But dude, we have to somehow stop comparing ourselves. Everybody has their own life. Everybody has their own like schedule, you know. Some people start working at 15 and retire at 35. Some people, you know, go to uni, they start working when they're 30 years old and, you know, have a normal life. Some people don't work at all. Some people work since they're 6 years old. Like, you know, there's so many different things. And like, I feel like in social media, it's just portrayed this, you know, going to uni, like going to school, going to uni, getting a high paying job and, you know, get a family and travel and do this and that, get your own apartment. There's all these like ideas that are forced onto you, but maybe you don't live up to that standard. Maybe you don't want that life, or maybe you just had a different upbringing. Maybe you didn't have the same chances that somebody else had, or maybe you had different chances, you know. And I think it's pointless comparing yourself, because, you know, I have to remind myself of that too, because dude, like, I could look at somebody who has had a perfect upbringing, you know, who is from a wealthy family, and yeah, maybe they're ahead financially, but you know, they had a different upbringing. Maybe they got a lot of money from their parents. I didn't. So obviously I can't be at the same place, like I can't be in the same position as they are, because I'm just not, you know. And so now probably you're looking at me thinking, dude, life is so good in Switzerland, I wish I was born there. But to be honest, like, you're just not, you know, you're not in my position. You're not as fortunate to be born in Switzerland. But it doesn't really matter, because like, even if you're born in the United States or in England or in Scotland or in wherever, you know, it doesn't really matter where you're born. You can still make it, you know, and you still have your own advantages over other people. Dude, if you're from the UK, you have a lovely accent that most people admire. Most people want to have a British accent. They love British accents, you know. That's one thing you have. You didn't have to do anything for it. You didn't have to do anything for it. You were just born with it, you know. And if you're from the United States, you basically live in a country, or like on a continent, where everything is possible, and you have mountains, you have ocean, you have desert, you have everything. Big cities, small cities. You know, I live in Switzerland. We don't have any ocean connection here. You can't just, I mean, we have like lakes and stuff like that, but we're not on the open sea. And to some people that's a disadvantage. You know, all Swiss people go to Italy in summer because they want to see the ocean. Dude, I don't care, you know, but for some people this may be important. If you're born in Italy, okay, cool, you know, you have a beautiful landscape. Honestly, Italy is the most beautiful country in the world. Like, looking at the nature. Dude, if you've ever been to Sicily, not to Sicily, sorry, to, what is it called? Toscana, yeah, exactly. 2 years ago, I did a road trip with my abort down to Toscana, and honestly, that was the most beautiful. Dude, I've driven on roads you can't believe. Like, you only see these roads in movies. They don't exist, but like, they do exist, you know. I drove them down to Montepulciano. Dude, I'm telling you guys, if you're from anywhere, living anywhere in Europe, or if you're from America or wherever, do a road trip. Don't take the train, take a car, rent a car, bring your own car, whatever. Do a road trip through Italy, especially Tuscany, because Tuscany is probably the most beautiful place on earth, to be honest. And also the Amalfi Coast is amazing. It's very touristy, but dude, if you've ever been to Amalfi Coast, like it's unbelievable. It looks like in a movie. Can't describe it any other way. And I think actually I should do another road trip. Back then I wasn't vlogging, but I think that would be really funny, because that vlog, that trip was really stressful. Like, I wanted it to be like that, but you know, there was nights where I didn't know where to sleep, and I was worried I had to sleep in my abort. I didn't have a mattress in the car. I didn't have anything in the car. and I'm 6 foot, and the abort doesn't really, like, you know, you're kind of on edge when you're 6 foot driving an abort because the car is not that big. Like, you fit in it when you drive it, but when you're trying to sleep in the car, it's not ideal, especially without a mattress. I think I'm gonna tell you that story of that trip, show you some videos and pictures of that trip in another vlog. I think I have to reduce the time of my vlogs. I have to make them shorter, so I just have to talk less. I think that's it for this video. Let's see if they export faster than the videos. And yeah, see you tomorrow. Thanks for watching, and I wish you a lovely night. Alright, we are on a little midnight side quest. Got the bag. I'm driving a truck. Dude,